So, let's go. Welcome to Toffee TV. It's live at 5. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. It's between 5 and 6. Yeah. Wednesday, live at 5.
October 2nd.
Loads of comments already.
There is.
On YouTube and on our Patreon. Gary Ward says, howdy, he's over in the States. Simon Rouse says, evening lads, missed yesterday due to a night shift, but glad to be back on today. He was in the forests of Germany.
Cutting down trees.
Looking for aliens. Looking for aliens. Stephen Kelly says, all right lads, hope you're well today. Good interview with Paddy from The Athletic. Finished the Dortmund documentary off today and came away from it wishing English football was more like German in relation to ticket prices, etc. Is there a way that could ever happen, or do you expect it to get worse? Also, do you expect in the next 5 to 10 years that they'll scrap national newspapers, have it all online as online subscription only? So on German footy, or certainly on English footy, do you think we're going away from the German model, or going more towards the German model?
Going away from it.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing something brilliant today online, which is Aston Villa are allowing their season ticket holders in for free in the next round of the Carabao Cup, which will be really interesting.
Yeah.
Playing Wolves, I think, aren't they? So a derby match as well, and they're getting in. So that's brilliant to give back for the fans, and obviously we've seen the 20 is plenty campaign, which ironically was started in Germany. We met Mark Kwamba,
the guy who started it.
Yeah. But I just think we look at things totally different in this country. We seen when we were out in Germany how everything was fan focused, and obviously they've got the rule of 51 in Germany as well, which 51%.
Don't forget though, this is not just an English thing, because the Bayern Munich fans had a banner last night at the Tottenham game, having a go at UEFA, because UEFA have capped the away ticket prices to €70. How nice for them. So they were kicking off about it. So it's not just English football. But sadly, we are going away from it, because I know at the moment it's £30 for away games, but there was some talk in the summer that some of the clubs were trying to get out of that. Not wanting that because of the revenue they lose by not filling those seats with home fans, essentially. And I think going forward, some clubs will try and do that. They'll try and fill those seats with home fans, because if you can get an extra 3,000 home fans, and we've seen that already. We've seen clubs like Liverpool, who, even though they've got a stadium that holds 52,000 or whatever it is,
55,
are continually not allowing the away fans to have their full allocation, and yet the Premier League don't do anything about it. They don't.
It is mad. Our allocation at Anfield hasn't changed. Still 2,900, which is what it was when they had 44,000.
Exactly.
And they've got
and a lot of clubs have done that. They've made the allocation smaller when they should be getting bigger, and it's not on. And the only way, obviously, it's going to change is if fans stick together. But we've seen this, sadly, in this country. We can't stick together. We've seen things in Germany where, I know now, I think they're getting rid of Monday Night Football on Germany because the fans don't like it. So the fans stopped going to the games. And I just don't think that would happen in this country. Someone would buy the tickets in this country. No, we never do. It rears its head every single year when someone gets to an FA Cup final and the two teams kick off about it, and everyone else just goes, oh, well, you're in the FA Cup final. And then the next year when it's them, or there's a possibility of them, people kick off again, oh, there's only going to get 20-odd thousand when we've got so many season ticket holders. No one ever stands together and makes a stand. We've seen something in another country, I think it might have been Belgium, or was it Holland, where there was a cup final and the league was saying, the league was saying the tickets were going to be X amount, and the fans were like, no, they're going to be this amount. And we're going to turn up on the day with the money and the fans. And if you don't let us in, that's up to you. And that's the problem. We've got to stand together. So I love what's happened in Germany, what continues to happen in Germany. And, you can romanticize about it all you want in this country. But sadly, we're just getting more and more corporate in this country. And
it's not good.
It's not good.
It's when you watch documentaries like that one, Stay, isn't it? It's a brilliant documentary. And just to see how they run as a club is fantastic, and the lengths that they go to try to keep improving. I actually think they're very, very similar to Everton in the way they are, the way they're built, and the way they rely on the fans and stuff like that. I'd love Everton to be more like them, obviously with the exception of that song, but everything else, they do remind me very much of Everton. In this city, they remind me very much of Everton, whereas Bayern remind me very much of another team that plays in red, not too far away, more.
Well, there's more than just two teams, isn't there?
No, there is. I just mean when you take it from that stance.
But then also Bayern remind me of like a Man United, and then and then Dortmund remind me of a Liverpool. Yeah, no. What I mean is, it's just that what I'm saying. If you're going to compare two clubs, Liverpool could be compared to Dortmund a lot if someone like Man United is looked at as Bayern. But
there you go.
I would love to be like more like. I just love the fact that Dortmund nearly went. I mean, literally, they were a meeting away from going bankrupt. A meeting. These people in this meeting had to vote yes, and if they'd voted the other way, they would have been finished. And it didn't happen, and they went on and got to a European Cup final and won leagues and won cups, and. You know, they didn't
still have problems again.
They didn't own the stadium. They didn't own the stadium. They had to buy back the stadium slowly. But they banked on themselves, and they made a lot of really good decisions. Maybe decisions you couldn't make in the Premier League. Yeah. But they banked on themselves, and it's worked out really well for them. So you can only look at them and admire them. But whether you could get up, that's the thing. Whether you could get away with some of those decisions in this country, can you play young players in this country? Can you sort of just? I don't know, it's difficult, isn't it?
Totally difficult. Sophie Gallagher says, evening lads, evening Soph. That wasn't a 3-1 scoreline on Saturday, but we desperately need a new centre-back. Keane is a liability. I would consider selling him. Can see Silva going very soon. He won't change. No, it probably wasn't a 3-1 on Saturday. Keane isn't playing as well as he did last season. And I'm not sure.
He's got no competition.
What'll happen with Silva? No, he hasn't.
Big problem, isn't it?
No option, have we?
Some players need to be taken out the side when they're not playing well, just for their own good. And it's hard for them when they're left in there and they're maybe struggling a little bit. And sometimes you need to take them out. But if you haven't got any options,
you can't.
I know we've got Holgate, but
Carl Brimage says Silva in or out.
Ask me next week.
At the moment,
honestly, ask me next week.
It's in. For me,
at
the moment.
Ask me next week.
Andy Skywalker 69 says Silva out, Arteta the new Pep in. Your big Dosser 28 says, do you think JP being out has scuppered any plans for Silva to play 4-3-3? Don't think Snyder.
I wonder if it was just OBS.
Possibly. Excellent connection.
Might just been OBS.
That's just going to start back up in a minute.
Should do.
Just going to refresh it there.
I'm hoping we should be back on.
Should we?
Should be back on. I mean, waiting for the spinning wheel of death.
I'm going to spin that round. See whether that comes on.
Well, you know.
Oh man, and we'll see now.
I think because there's a we're back on. That been perfect all week this, and then we go on YouTube and it starts messing about. I was just about to ask a question. Yeah, I thought we were frozen. I was looking at it, I was thinking, we were frozen. Let me just ask a question. So, I was just about to ask a question there, right? Let's just say the worst thing happens, right? And, you know, someone loses a job. How many fans would tolerate or would be happy or wouldn't be happy with Rafa Benitez? I'd just be really interested to know what people think about him as a manager of Everton Football Club, because on paper he's the ideal candidate, isn't he, if Everton needed a new manager? But obviously there's all the other things you've got to consider. So let us know in the comments. I just think it's an interesting thing to talk about. I mean, not sitting here with the axe hovering over Marco Silva's head, but I just think it's an interesting thing to talk about. So let us know in the comments on that one.
Your big Doss at 28 said, going on. So do you think? Oh no, I started that. You never answered it.
Go on.
Do you think Gabamon being out has stopped the manager playing 4-3-3?
Obviously, I think so. Yeah, I think you need some versatility in there, someone with a bit of pace, and it's not got it. So yeah. Derek Houghton says, "Hi guys, just a blag the ticker for Burnley. My fingers for this one. What? My fingers for this one.
Crossing his fingers for this
Derek, one. No. Right, just write that down. Sometimes it doesn't always come through. I have to make a spot thing on.
Or just tell me and I'll translate that. Nobody.
Joe Mack says, if you were a comic book character, which one would you be?
Spider-Man.
No, I'm not pulling a face because you said Spider-Man.
No,
I just no.
That's what I'm saying. Who would you be?
I would be Wolverine. Yeah, definitely, man.
Okay.
It doesn't age.
Okay, well, that's a good one. Tom says, how long can Bernard continue to be in the team without scoring or assisting? He doesn't play. Iwobi has been here 2 months and has 1 less goal assist. Yeah, but Tom, the thing about Bernard is that look at what else he does. A, he's a fantastic footballer. B, he creates so much space for Luca Dean down that left-hand side, and he links everything we do together. So, all right, I agree, he needs more goals. Assists, well, it'd be great if lads in the middle put the ball in the net when he sets them up, but give him more assists. But it's everything else he brings to the team. Since he hasn't been in the team, Luca Dean's, productivity's gone down a bit because he's having to make up that ground. He wasn't in the team on Saturday because he was ill. 28% down the left-hand side we attacked at the weekend. So...
We never answered the second part of Stephen Kelly's question about the newspapers.
Oh.
I think newspapers will be gone easily in 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. It will be subscription. It's got to be.
Or they'll all be free. And the adverts in them.
Yeah, the adverts will be...
Like Metro and things like that.
Yeah. That's one way, isn't it?
Kane says, if any German club is like Everton, it's Schalke. You're Schalke obsessed, you are.
Absolutely loves it.
Changing your Twitter account. They hate You'll Never Walk Alone, hate Dortmund and play in blue. Fair dues. See, that's the thing. I mean, maybe when we go to Schalke, we'll be like, this is us.
Yeah.
So we need to experience that. You have. And honestly, never shut up about it.
Well, we will. We're gonna go out this year. John Joe. Okay. Kyle Brimman says Silva in or out. We've done that, Kyle.
Owen Parks. I don't think Rafa would come here personally. Just my view. I think he'd come here.
He's already.
Honestly,
his mate.
I honestly do.
Keys.
I honestly do think he would come. It's whether Everton fans would want him.
Hi, Robert Workman from Vienna. Hello.
T Logic 1991 says, if he won us a trophy or got us in the Champions League, which you think he would or would be forgiven? Yeah, I agree. I think. Yeah, I do agree. Stephen Kelly says, watching the Man United versus Arsenal game on Monday night made me more angry with the way we have started this season to bang average sides. Also, a lot of people may not agree, but I'm not having Rashford as an amazing player. They rave on about him.
Rashford, you know what? Seeing United fans talking after the game on Monday night about Rashford, and they were like, yeah, I don't know what he is. He's not a striker. He's not a winger.
He's a young lad, isn't he?
He's a good lad. Good young player. I'd have him at Everton every day of the week.
He's a young lad.
I think maybe with Rashford, you'd have to just put him in the team, put him through the middle, and just say, you're our centre forward for the season. Let's see how you get on with it.
Well, again, though,
that's what I think.
It's that thing of bringing kids into the teams. They have a big start and then they drop off a little bit, and then we put loads of weight on the shoulder like we are on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And then when they don't. When they're not playing to our expectations, we go, you're rubbish. And it was like, hang on, you haven't let me get to that point that the expectation should be on there. And he's definitely that kind of player. No, I think he's a great player.
Tom says, Baz, why do you hate Leicester so much? They're a good side. They are. Pereira, Ndidi, Tielemans, Maddison and Vardy would all walk into our side for me. and I would have Chilwell over Baines as a backup. Well, if you're talking about squad players, then yeah, I'd have...
I can't bear Leicester, so it's not just Baz.
I'd have some... No, but my thing with Leicester
I can't bear them as a football club.
No, but what I'm saying about Leicester is, my thing with Leicester is, yeah, they are a decent side, but it makes me laugh how, some Evertonians view our own team.
Yeah,
it's like they can't even look at our players and see that they're obviously better than so many other players. I understand and I accept that you have to prove it, and that's the biggest thing, and that's right. But also, the loving for Leicester, it's absolute nonsense for me. If they're still there, like I said last season, and I was right, and like I said the season before, and I was right, we'll see where they are in May and we'll see where we are. And you know what? If they finish above us in May and the 10 points clear, they've been great, and Vardy hasn't picked up a knock all season, I'll say, fair play, they've been better than us this season. Until then, we'll see, won't we?
I think that was all in vain.
Has it gone off again?
It did go off then, yeah.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
But then it's back.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm waiting for it. So, yeah. Well, I'm out.
Right, it probably lost some of it. Basically, the top and bottom of it is, we'll see where they are in May. And the last 2 seasons, it's been said to me, and I've gone, yeah, all right, we'll see. And both times have been proven right. So you can talk about people like Ben Chilwell being a backup and having him, but there's lots of players you'd have as backup to our players. Out of Leicester, I'd have Tielemans, I'd have Ndidi, and I'd love Jamie Vardy.
I think he settled them down quicker than we've settled down.
What a style.
I think they just had better players in the first place. I think they had. I think they were underperforming more under their last manager than we were, and I think it's.
Well, we'll see.
They've got a striker as well.
Yeah.
It's the most important thing in football is having a striker.
Yeah.
When you have a
good. This is football.
When you have a striker,
everyone's got different opinions, but like I say, we'll see at the end of the season, won't we? Glenn Watson, this is a good one. If you could recreate Baz and Ped's most excellent adventure and bring back 3 players into our current squad using a time machine, one from the 80s, one from the 90s, and one from the noughties, who would you do it?
Gary Lineker.
Okay. 90s.
Beardsley.
And the O's.
90s Beardsley, not current Beardsley.
Yeah.
And Tim Cahill.
They're 3 good ones.
I know they are, that's why I picked them.
They're 3 good ones.
They're very good ones. Imagine Lineker, Beardsley is number, and also don't forget Beardsley was a strike partner for England, right? And Cahill just buzzing round the 3 up front. That would be marvellous. I mean, Cahill, it'd be difficult actually to fit Cahill into the team, but I just want him because he's sound.
Yeah, you see, I did love Lineker. I mean, I could bring anyone in that 80s.
Yeah, of course,
like
could.
Neville Southall or
whatever.
But I'd go Lineker.
Yeah.
I'd go Kanchelskis.
Fair dues. Fair dues.
I love Cahill. But what do we need, though? I mean, we do need a Cahill, but Stephen Pienaar. Oh, no.
What about
Yakubu?
What? No, we ask. Well, not with Lineker.
Jags.
Well, there's one controversial for you. Nigel Martin. No. Piss off.
He was great for a season, but we're trying to build.
Okay.
Southall, you'd go with if you never wanted to let a goal in ever.
Better than Pickford. I know, but you've got to choose, and that's because you've got to choose. I mean, the Chelsea shout's really good. I just think Beardsley and Lineker would complement each other. They complement.
Lineker was amazing because it was goals.
See, that's
what we need.
I always pick Lineker when people say player of the 80s. Everyone else would go, obviously, a team from the 85 team. But I just think Lineker is a player that doesn't and never did rely on anybody else. And he's just a player that you could fizz a ball across in the box and he'd be there. But with Beardsley, he'd just be... They complement each other.
Alfie Boyo 206 says, hello. Can you guys try and get an interview with Silva for Finch Farm? Yes, we are. Trying, that is. Paul Hubert says, Rodgers has got Leicester flying. He's only been there 6 months. Fair enough. Did you see the expected points, though, and the expected goals? Like, what it works out to be? Leicester are basically defying the odds. And Michael Cox, who's done the articles, basically put... allegedly it works. Listen,
okay, cool.
Allegedly it works, this programme, right? Yeah. And across the season, it's not as... But then again, someone else is not too far away, 7 points more than what they should have at this moment.
All right, let me ask you a question then, right? If XG is so precise, how come it's not precise?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just saying what the
We're going to get the spinning wheel now. We're going to get the spinning ring. It's gone red again. And I don't understand why. Oh!
Is it not OBS?
Right, we're back on the green. All right, it's
the red.
It's the OBS. That's what it is. It's the OBS. That's fine. No, I will do in a minute.
My back? No, we're not.
Right, I can't be arsed messing about.
It must be something. Oh, yeah, it's back again.
Yeah, it's back.
Something's going on here.
I don't know what's going on. I think the red men are sabotaging us. I think they're giving us the old ring. They're giving us the old rings thing. And Champions League.
Ring of Fire. Champions League.
Champions League night.
They're trying to get all up for the
They're giving us the ring. They're giving us the ring of Sting. The red ring of Sting. And the old red ring of stingingness. And they're messing about with us. It's not even like the internet.
They're messing with our minds.
They're just something's like, I don't know, magnets or something. I don't know what it is.
They're doing something. Go on. Like Stranger Things. Tom says, do you guys think fans should be allowed into the press conference to ask the manager questions rather than the same old journalist from Sky Sports News who have no clue about Everton?
When you say fans, what do you mean by fans? Because...
probably like kind of things we do.
No, well, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be sitting here going, it's like it's 37,000 on a like home game, isn't it? So that might be congested.
Paul Cruz Design says, in lighter news, the Mandalorian is out soon, Ped.
Do you know what the Mandalorian is?
No.
Why?
Because I don't.
Why would I mean?
Why
this is the man.
From Star
This is the
Wars,
man who went on the Millennium Falcon and said it was his lifelong dream, and he doesn't even know what I'm saying.
Lifelong dream. Said as a kid, I wanted to fly it.
That's a lifelong. That's lifelong.
There you go. Liveavid says, would you consider pairing DCL and Keane? Yes. James Sadler says, do you think after the Man City game we are at the turning point like last season and are going to start playing our brand of football?
We'll find out.
It'd be nice if we could.
Oh my God, we got the ring. We got the ring of Sting. Oh, it's back. I don't know why, just intermittently keeps on dropping out.
Just ridiculous.
It's not.
Aaron Jordan says, shag, marry, kill, Koeman, Martina, Silva. Okay. Go ahead.
No,
you've got
it. I can't have the question because I'm a heterosexual male. So therefore...
I could.
You go for it.
I'd probably shag Marco.
It's gone off again.
Kill Koeman and marry Martinez.
You got to refresh. Should be on. Should be back.
Back without the...
should be back with no graphics.
Back with no graphics, but hopefully...
Yeah, it should be back with no graphics.
Hopefully there'll be no messing around.
Although it's back with the graphics. I don't know.
I don't know what's going on anymore. Right, where we were at. Everything's back.
Yeah,
it's live.
It's back with no graphics.
We're back now.
Come back with no graphics because my laptop's been it's my laptop. It's just been a fool. It's been a fool. Fool.
You're not doing the shag, marry, kill, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Glenn Watson says it's live. Everything back. Mark Perry, it's on. Right, where are we? Right, Kevin Gill.
We never have this problem on Peyton, do we?
Don't, mad. Kevin Gill says, hi guys, hope you were good. Do you think it's time Pickford got dropped? That's one for you, Ped.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because Leicester hasn't really... Well, he hasn't kicked the ball this season. He's been injured. I know he's back on the bench, but it's difficult. He's going to have to... The manager would have to be massively convinced that that he's got issues, simply. So...
I'm not at the stage where we drop him for me at the moment, but he does need to pick his game back up.
Yeah.
Lalu Pato says Rafa is the top dog. Paul Hewitt says Benitez was the one I wanted when Martinez left. Sophie Gallagher says fancy us against Burnley for some weird reason, even though it's away from home. We can't start Schneidel, Delph and Sigurdsson in midfield anymore. Totally agree, Sophie. Fran Riding said I'd have clown kecks. Is that Rafa?
I don't know is the answer to that.
I don't know clown kecks.
But if it is,
I apologise, Fran.
But I mean, it's again, we're not mind readers. We can't always Just if you're going to say something, just say what it is.
What's the space 82 says, would I be happy? No. Would he get results? Yes. Would I have him? Don't know. Fair enough.
See, that's the point, isn't it? As I said, we were talking about this on Monday on Patreon, and one of the things was...
Get the likes above 50, please, in the next minute. Thank you.
One of the things we were talking about was like, if not saying about replacing the manager, we should just said, if the manager left the job, is it about time we all just swallowed our pride and just went and got the best manager out there that was available? And that probably is Rafa Benitez, whether we like it or not. And in other countries, this wouldn't be any issue. And they have the fiercest competition event, whether it be Italy or Germany, or I imagine in places like Brazil, it's not an issue. People will manage other clubs, whether they've managed them before or played or whatever. It's just in this country, we just seem to have very weird tribalism about it. But I mean, for me, it makes sense. Would I be like ecstatic about it? No, I wouldn't. I'd rather, in my heart, have someone like Arteta or someone who had some connection to the club. But I'm just being brutally honest about it. I think Benitez is the best person available for the job. I mean, he's not necessarily available, but
it's whether you're fed up of hoping that a potential will come out in a manager and we become brilliant, or whether you almost want to guarantee results and almost want to guarantee that your team will be in and around the European places. And with Benitez and the money Everton have got, it's undoubted.
See, I'm seeing a couple of people mention Mourinho. I just don't think Mourinho would come to Everton.
He's another one, though.
I just don't. I think both of them, and I think Rafa will probably get this more, is they're like the successful Allardyces, I mean, they're better coaches than Allardyce, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Sometimes you have to suck it up, and someone's just put there, G. Carlin, Mourinho's looking for a job in the Premier League. Is he looking for a job in the Premier League? I don't...
That story has bounced out again, though, which means it's come from somewhere. And I suppose for Jose, if he smells blood at Everton, and he looks at that and says there's money there and there's players there who I could get, then he will let it be known that he wants that job, won't he? Phil McBoob says he wouldn't come, so don't worry yourself by it.
Who wouldn't come?
Rafa.
You honestly don't think Rafa Benitez would come to Everton? I think he'd moonwalk to Everton. Two
of his mates said at the weekend he should be given the Everton job.
I think Rafa Benitez would. His family live in Liverpool, on the Wirral. His kids are here. Honestly, I think he'd take the Everton job without any worries whatsoever.
But Nicholas Zollinger said we'll be happy with him, but personally don't want another rebuild. That's one of the things, mate, isn't it? It feels like starting again almost. Livevid says Rafa is a quality manager, but his heart will always be at Anfield.
Yeah, it probably would be, but sometimes you buy players whose hearts are in other places, and they get on with the job.
Lalu Pato says Rafa loves the cop and vice versa.
How much would they love it if we beat them?
Yeah. Paul123 says no to Benitez, and it will always be a no. Not for all the trophies in football. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you a question then. Right. What if, honestly, right, Benitez, if Benitez came in and someone said to you, he is definitely 100% going to win us a trophy, 100%. Rafa Benitez will win Everton a trophy 100%, right?
99%.
No, I'm saying, I'm saying, someone says, I've seen the future, he wins you a trophy. Would you not have him then still? Or would you be prepared to put all that to a side to enjoy Everton winning a trophy? I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying you have to or you don't. I'm just asking.
Magnus Dunn said he'd guessed you'd say Wolverine. David Embleton says, haven't I always said after Moyes we should have got Rafa? Conor Halali was a bad choice. He was a bad choice. He was great for a year, but in hindsight, I didn't want him at the time, Martinez. He's like Eddie Howe would be now for me. And he did take our club backwards. We needed someone else safe, probably after Moyes.
There's a lot of people out there suggesting Mourinho and saying that Mourinho wants.
I think you know what? I'm not convinced Mourinho wouldn't come to Everton. I'm really not. I think if he was offered it, he would take it. I really believe that, because he said more than once lately he wants something different now. He wants a club that he can build, and he wants a director of football. And he wants some with money, and he wants a project. This is a project for him. But ideally for me, still, and I still say it, I just want Marco to start winning games, turn this round. But Alfie Boyo says, 206, can you guys see us turning it round? That's more for you, because I've just said I want them to.
Difficult. I think we've got to win Saturday. Genuinely, I think we've got to win Saturday to get that ball rolling before the international break. Otherwise, you're going to have a couple of weeks of real unhappiness around the club and pressure.
That West Ham game would be ridiculous amount of pressure, I think. Lalu Pato says Bernard's better than Salah.
No,
I'd love that to be. As a technical footballer, he is. As a striker, a wide forward, sadly, he isn't. Alan Murphy says, hi guys, I think we should have got Brendan Rodgers. He's another one who's been mentioned a lot of times. I think he's a good coach.
I think in 2 years' time, I think he'll be the manager of Chelsea.
He could well be.
I think he will be.
He could well be. As long as he does all right with Leicester, I think he could well be. Real Tours says, do you think we'd have a title challenge inside if you could handpick our best 25 Premier League players during the Premier League years?
No, they'd all be in the 40s and the 50s. They'd be all dead slow. Just saying. I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't
Possibly. We have had some good players all at the wrong time.
Yeah, we have.
Haven't we? Paul123 says, Everton FC, above all other things, is a club that prides itself on class and dignity. Those two things are more important than results to me.
No, they're not. They're not. They're
well,
not.
Paul, he might be. You can't tell Paul.
No, I can't. But I can't.
Is in his life.
I can't. But they're not. Football clubs are made to win games of football. Therefore, are one to try and win trophies. That's what football clubs are for. Sport is for winning. It's not for anything else. That's something Everton Football Club have forgotten somewhere down the road. And it's what the teams at the top don't forget. Football is for winning and winning only. You can take part all you want, but it's not for taking part. It's for trying to win. You don't set out the season and go, well, we'll play in the third round of the FA Cup and whatever happens, happens. You set out and you try and win the tournament. You can do it with class and dignity, but it's still for winning. It is still for winning. That is the thing above everything else. And somewhere down the line, Everton have got caught up in doing things for charities and all this other stuff. No, it's for winning games of football and winning trophies. And at some point, we've got to get back to remembering that.
Tom says, for me, it's got to the stage now where if Marco keeps being stubborn and plays 4-2-3-1, fans will want him gone and he'll be sacked. If he goes through 4-3-3, fans will get behind him more. Andy Skywalker says Silva was never the right man for the job.
Yeah. Sorry, there's going to be a weird thing on that.
Look at his history apart from Sporting Lisbon. He's been awful. Benitez a winner for sure, but not for Everton. Arteta will be class. Let me just take you to task, Andy, with, look, apart from Sporting Lisbon, he's been awful. He took Estoril in the second division in Portugal, who were near the bottom of the league with 2,000 fans.
Go on.
Right? Got them promoted, won the second division, took them into the first division in Portugal and got them in the Europa League by finishing in the top four without spending any money. That is a great achievement. He done well at Sporting. Then he went to Olympiacos and won the first 17 games of the season. It's a European record for winning the amount of games, the biggest amount of games from day 1 to day 17. He won a league, won a cup in Greece, and then left because he wanted to manage in the Premier League. So let's not rewrite history. Hull, he had 13 players when he went there and 11 points and took them to the last day before they got relegated. And it was actually Jordan Pickford playing amazing for Sunderland, getting them a result. Then at Watford, he started off well and he did tail off. And he tailed off when Everton wanted him. So let's not rewrite history. He's got a decent record in Europe. He's won trophies. He's broken records. Whether you like him or not, that's fine. But at the moment, he's the Everton manager and we need to get behind him. Arteta is all hearsay at the moment of how great he is. In that, the piece, which was really in-depth for The Athletic, there was a big flashing red light in there that said he's in charge of set plays and they are not very good at set plays, defensively or offensively, and it's a real issue. So that's one area he hasn't been able to sort out either. But everything else in that article looked brilliant. But again, he's never managed the team. So he could be Pep Guardiola, but he also could be Colin Harvey, Steve McLaren, Brian Kidd, other number 2, Clement, who was a fantastic number 2 for Mourinho and Carlo Ancelotti. So, who knows? Who knows? Lalu Patu loves Silva, win, lose or draw. Tom, I answered you on why I don't like Leicester before for about 10 minutes. Keith Powell, Rafa would not make Liverpool fans happy. Well said. John Crellin said, I know it's early days, but Moise Keane is well off the pace. If he'd come through the academy, he'd be back with the 23s. Steve Hardy says, sorry lads, missed the start. Been at the psychiatrist having my Everton dream analysed. That's the one with Pat Nevin et al. Chasing. Do you think Anthony Gordon will be on the bench this weekend? No. Would you have him there? Possibly. He's flying. He's flying. Yeah. Mark Perry would love to have seen Martinez with the money. I don't think I would after the first window.
I don't think
downhill rapidly.
I don't know if money was actually the issue with him, because it was the style of play, and I think the players he wanted would have been really hard to attract the kind of players he wanted. So. No, he was a bit mad.
Paul Hewitt says, why is Baz reluctant to give other teams praise? I'm not, and I've said I will at the end of the season. What annoys me is the way people go over the top about clubs who have a couple of wins. It's like, oh my God, these are amazing and we're rubbish. It's just nonsense. If you've watched football longer than 10 minutes, you should be able to look at teams and go, we'll see how it pans out. It's the same with Bournemouth. When Bournemouth win a few games, get Eddie Howe, these are brilliant, and then they get spanked, don't win for 3 months, and everyone shuts up. It bores me, to be honest. We'll see where they are. I'll give them praise in May, but I'm not giving him praise 3 weeks into a season because he's had a good run. It's absolute nonsense what comes out of people's mouths. It really is. Paul Thornton says Marino's his choice. Moyes or Benitez as backup, but not Arteta.
Okay.
Seen a few that don't want Arteta. Harrison McGlashan, Andy is working. He was in before. Tom thinks Sigurdsson's got something in his contract that means he has to play every game. Where are we there? Jimmy Banana would have Southall, Kanchelskis and Ferguson. Paul Hewitt would have Trevor Stephen, Reed and Lineker. No, you see, you can't.
You can't.
You have to have one from the 80s, one from the 90s and one from the noughties. Those 3 you've named all played for us in the 80s. So come back, Paul, with one of each.
Teddy Sass says, why aren't we talking about Jose rather than Rafa? He's actually available and an unbelievable manager than Rafa. It mightn't be realistic, but we should throw everything on the table for him. Sorry, your message is cut off because of this. Don't know where all this Rafa stuff has popped up suddenly, but the Rafa stuff's popped up from us because it just makes sense, and I've seen people talk about him, and I just wanted to gauge the public's reaction. You are the public. I wanted to just gauge the reaction, because is it like
popped back up over the weekend.
I've always been very, very reluctant.
Yeah.
For loads of the reasons people have mentioned. You know, him being, big idol Liverpool and all the rest of it.
I've resisted it for, like David said, people were mentioning it when Martinez went, and I was like, no, thank you.
But is it a silent majority who would have him? That's what I'm trying to tease out of you.
We'll see.
Circle of trust.
Lee is Lee. Fella, say hi to my little girl, Ellie Bean. Hello, Ellie Bean. I hope you are well and enjoying the show. Hang on, Tom.
Is she watching the show, genuinely?
I don't know. Tom's just said, Baz, you still think Michael Keane is a good defender because he's been terrible all season? I do think Michael Keane is a good defender, and I do agree with you. He is way off it for me this season.
Derek Hulton says, what's your honest opinion on Ellis Sims? I know you thought he would maybe not be quite up to it in the under-23s, 21s, but he's doing it. Is he worth a shout? I've only ever seen bits of him. I mean, yeah, he scored a couple of goals, and that's fair play, but I wouldn't get too excited about him. I think he's a good finisher. It's just whether how many opportunities he would get in like the Premier League. Would he get into those areas? So it's hard to say. Maybe if he scores 20 goals this season, or looks like he's on his way to 20 goals, you might start looking and go, oof, put him on the bench for a game. But I don't think we're at that point just yet, and I'm very reluctant with a lot of players to make a lot of noise about them, because I think it's unfair on the players as well, and unfair on the system. Although Anthony Gordon, I'd have him as my first choice number 9 right now. Make him the captain. No, Anthony Gordon, I think there's a bit of a unique talent in there, and that's why I'm a little bit more less reluctant to say put him in the squad, because I do think there's a genuine talent.
Ellis Sims looks like he's a good talent, but I still don't think he's ready. But what I will say is I watched the 23s last night at Burton, and he was up against 2 experienced 30-year-old centre-backs, and I thought he handled himself very well. And the more experience he gets at that, I think will help him. There was no way he could have come out at that under-18s and gone into our first team squad, because at the 18 level, honestly, look at any of the goals you see. Everton put them up every week. Look at them on the website. No one puts a tackle in. No one marks anyone. So he's learning now, and he looked better, and he took his goal brilliantly last night. But I'm like Ped, Anthony Gordon looks levels ahead of anyone else, and he looks like the next one who may break into the squad.
T-Logic 1991 says, listen to the Alan Myers podcast with Joe Royle and the way players and people around the club in them days talk about the Everton, so we were the elite. Seems like it's lost now. Do you ever think it will ever come back? Joe is genuinely, if you want to talk about like a manager, so if you say Howard Kendall's the greatest Everton manager, Joe Royle is the greatest speaker on Everton I've ever heard. Genuinely. Yeah. He can take you to just genuine like excitement or tears or anyone at the club. When he tells stories about Everton Football Club, you get a lump in your throat.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Like how much it means to him, how much he makes it mean to you, and how much he must have made it mean to the players he's in charge of. And the biggest regret is that Joe Royle wasn't in charge for another 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah, that's a massive
another massive
mistake by the club. He's absolutely fantastic. Whether we ever get those days back again, very, very difficult because of the way football's going. And do you know what? I'm not one of these people who says, never say never, because that's Justin Bieber. But he did say.
Oh, no.
But the problem with football is, and it used to be cyclic football, used to be. But the problem with it now is that we're not all in the same cycles anymore. Some cycles are just going off into their own little Champions League, European Super League stuff. And the problem is you only have to look at the money table to tell you that clubs like Man City have already got all that wealth. Clubs like Liverpool were like there, weren't they? Even when they were finishing 7th and 8th, they were still earning a hell of a lot of money. And now that they've gone to be, doing things, suddenly they're getting massive sponsorship deals. So you look at that top 6, and I think like Arsenal and Chelsea and Tottenham, their sponsorship deals, kit and everything, are like 60 million. And then the next one was Southampton. Southampton, bigger kit deal than us, with like 8 million. And then we were like 7.5 million or whatever it was. And it's the same with the shirt sponsors, isn't it? Exactly the same with the shirt sponsors. And Liverpool have got a guy running their club who I think is so savvy. And I'm not really bothered what people think, whether they like him or not. But he's such a clever man. Because he used to work for EA Sports, so he's got contacts everywhere. So they had a deal with Konami, Pez. Really good deal. They were like their top club. Big deal with them, top club. Really worth a fortune. He was like, no. FIFA, get on the front cover. Get Van Dijk on the front cover. That means the kit's on the front cover. That means the sponsorship's on the front cover. That means I can go to Nike and go, we're going to probably win everything every year. And I know people at EA, and I'll keep us on the front cover every other year. So if they've got a Nike kit on, EA Sport, FIFA is like the biggest game in the world. So therefore, you'll see your kit on every single cover. And that's how it works. We don't have that expertise working at our club. And if you haven't got people bringing money into the club, then it makes it very hard. And that's why the stadium is so important. But that's why the next 3 or 4 years going into a stadium is so important. That we get on that level where we're consistent and we're only going one way. And you can't say that at the moment. Well, we're like that. We're in flux. And that's a really bad position to be in if you're an owner. But he's got to take the blame as well, I think. Made poor decisions, and I think there's still poor decisions getting made.
Big Nozzle says, hi lads, great show as usual. Do you think Silva is missing Sousa at his side as an assistant manager, worth his weight in gold and proving himself in Portugal at the moment? Well, he's top, isn't he, in Portugal, so he's flying. Tom thinks Leicester will finish above us easily, far better than us. We'll see, Tom, won't we, in May? We'll see in May. I'm quite happy to readdress it in May, but like I said, I think totally differently to you. For argument's sake, what I would say is they lose Vardy for more than a game. They're in big, big trouble. Big Nozzer says Everton have to be careful that we don't become another Newcastle with all the time changing managers. We do, and I think we probably need a bit of stability, but we have to see that little bit of progression, don't we? Really, it's one of them. That's the way I look at it. Jamie B would have loved to have seen Moyes with money. We all would, mate, because I think we all would have expected Everton to maybe win something if Moyes would have had any kind of money, considering how much he did for us without any money. If he would have had that bit of freedom to go, I want him in. I mean, I always think back to when I was working there and he went over to see Dzeko and Hazard, and we just didn't have the money to buy them.
I remember there was an England game once, and I think out of all the players on the pitch, he tried to buy us. There was players playing on the game that played for us, but out of all the players on the pitch, he'd tried to get 8 of them before they'd become internationals.
And he wanted Aaron Ramsey, didn't he? Tried to get him. There was loads. Walker, thingy, Michael Essien. We were very close to signing him before Chelsea got him, and we just didn't have that extra bit of money to be able to get these deals across the line. But Ian Clark says Gary Stevens, Duncan and Cahill would have been history. Paul Hewitt, Trevor Steven, Olivier Decour, good player, and Romelu Lukaku.
Fair shout.
I mean, Lukaku wasn't the noughties, was he?
Well, depends what you
we'll have that. Steve said Southall, Regan Gray, again missing the point.
Yeah.
Jamie B hates the way people says, why would Mourinho come to us? Oscar Duke says Benitez is a poor manager, a cop-out and a horrible person.
He's not a poor manager and he's not a horrible person.
He's actually if you know him on Merseyside, regardless of his allegiance, he's actually does a lot for charity stuff and he's done things with Everton and Liverpool.
Yeah, he's definitely not a horrible person. You can say what you want, but he's not a horrible person. He's very, very well respected on Merseyside for the work he's done with the Hillsborough campaign and other stuff. So,
James Scale says Southall can Chelsea and Yak.
Fair shouts.
That's very good.
Derek Hilton says if Rafa makes us successful, then we go get him. No issue for me. Would work with Brands as he's the guy we must keep. Steve Donahue says, hi lads, as usual the content this week has been great. Baz, looking at the 2 interviews you did, the guy from the Mirror, David Maddock, and the guy from The Athletic, Paddy Boyland, both were saying Silva's tactics were very predictable, proving what we all think and could be Silva's downfall, not having a plan B. And Ped, we need a winner as a manager, and Rafa was a winner, but we would have to get to a great start to be accepted. I agree, and I'm not sitting here banging the drum, by the way. I'm just trying to gauge public reaction, just because I think it's important to. But yeah, I think that's a very good point. You're gonna love this one. Owen Park says, I know Baz will disagree, but I reluctantly think we should have gotten...
It better not be Sean Dyche.
Pellegrini.
Oh my God. Why? Owen, why? Why? David Unsworth would finish above Pellegrini. Even if he was on holiday playing golf for 3 months. Pack it in, mate. Pellegrini, stop it. Oh my God. Next you'll be saying joking here.
His drinks
stop it.
Mark Zobel says, last chance to vote for the patron man of the match. Make sure you do that, people. Stephen Kelly said, I personally think if we get beat on Saturday, it would be the end for Silva.
Could well be.
I have said Rafa for ages. Don't care if he managed them not. He won the Champions League for one of the worst Liverpool teams of all time. Got Newcastle 2 top 10 finishes with the Championship team. He might come across as a nice bloke, but he has a ruthless side. Doesn't suffer fools. Fools!
Fuel. You are a fuel. Tom wants to start Ellis Sims up front against Burnley.
No, you're mad. You're mad, lad. You're mad. You're mad!
Paul says, not saying the under-23s are totally pointless, but people get far too excited about young players doing well. It's like going from badminton to tennis.
It's not though. None of you watch them, and you actually get
the levels.
If you watch them and get the data on them and understand the levels, it's not, and that's what I never get excited about under-23 players. I don't. It's just that in Anthony Gordon, I see something technically that I think can be transmitted to the Premier League, not in one go, but I think just gradually. I do think he's the only one at the moment. Ellis Sims was scoring all those goals last year, and like Baz says, we always watch the highlights of those games, and they're just like, I think we could score a couple of goals at our age
easily. Real Soul says, best thing you heard someone say at the match was 5-1 down at home to Norwich, third ever game, and he overheard someone say, never mind Effin and Koku, what about the Effin back four? Always makes him laugh.
I went, Effin and Koku went to my school and played for my Sunday League team.
He did.
Bet you didn't know that, did you?
I did. Hugh McGeever says Duncan Ferguson will be a good Everton manager.
He won't.
You don't know?
No, I don't think Duncan Ferguson would ever take the Everton job.
I'm not saying he would, but you don't know whether he would. I'm not saying
that's why I'm saying he would, because I don't think
Thomas Murray's got to go. See you guys. Sorry, Thomas.
I mean, we're getting people telling us when they're going.
We are, but we're
Teddy Sass says, Baz.
Yes.
Might have got the wrong mate, but I've noticed a bit of a change in terms of your attitude and openness to discussing the option of bringing a new manager. Is there something in particular worrying you which makes you think maybe he mightn't be the right fella, despite wanting it to work out? Obviously, I think results is probably the thing.
I think the thing for me is, apart from results, of course, is a unwillingness to change that midfield, which is horrific, and I include Sigurdsson in that. I think at the moment he's awful. He is.
I was laughing at
something. Relying on creating opportunities from taking a corner. Well, anyone could. I think Andy Hinchcliffe, as much as I hate him, at the moment, could probably stand there without being fit and whip corners in.
Off his chin.
And we'd have opportunities in the game. I don't think you can put it down to set plays and go, he's dead creative because he can take a corner. Do you know what I mean? I think Sneijderland's too slow, and Delph with both of those in that midfield isn't working. So the fact that he never changes that is giving me cause for concern.
Yeah. Is a shout, and I can never quite get this shout. Costa Blanca Blue says, well says Baz, Howard Kendall would have gone too early if some fans had their way, and we know what happened next. Let's all keep the faith for now. Lots of games still to play this season.
That is true, though.
That is true, but then you're basically saying Marcus Silva's as good as Howard Kendall.
He's not, though.
I know, but he is, though. I heard this shout every time.
Say Silva stays, right? Silva turns it round. We get players back, and it keeps progressing, and he wins stuff.
No, I agree.
And he would have been.
But I agree with the point being is, fans don't sack managers. Chairman sack managers.
Yeah, but based on fans' opinion. Whoa. Hang on then. All right. Right. Okay. Say.
I didn't get anyone to say.
No. Say, when we had Sam Allardyce.
Yeah.
Right. The fans were just a little bit. Yeah. All right. Got beat at Burnley. No one was singing out, giving them the fingers. The home games we all stayed. We finished 8th, and everyone went, whatever. You know, he's got us 8th. We're all right. Do you think Machiri sacks him? I don't.
I think he was always sacking him. I think he was always sacking him. I think he was always there.
That's why.
I think he was always there for 6 months. I think he was always there for 6 months. Kane Forshaw says 8 wins and 41 away games.
For Marco?
Yeah.
Okay, what was Koeman's Kane? And what was Martinez? I'm dead interested in Martinez.
They both got the sack, though.
I'm dead. Yeah, but both had.
I know, they were less.
So
They were less, I'm saying, but they both got the sack.
Martinez was horrific, wasn't he? Absolutely horrific.
He didn't have a very high bar to beat, did he? Stephen Kelly says Liverpool avoid expulsion, fine £200,000, £100,000 suspended.
They were never kicking.
They never kicked. To be fair,
but someone else.
They never kicked Sunderland out. They were the last ones there, and they never kicked them out. So but
Liverpool were never getting kicked out. They got Arsenal in the tie of the round. It was never getting kicked out.
Owen Park says, I don't really like Pellegrini, but he's not a bad manager at all.
All about opinions, mate. If you've got Manchester City with billions of pounds at your exposure, you've got all of those players, and City are woeful. And the fact is, the last day of the season, they do the lap of honour when they just come third and got to a semi-final. But because the football was crap and they blew everything, hardly anyone stayed in. You've got to ask questions of the manager. I'm sorry you have, and I've watched him. West Ham are garbage, mate. No, not for me. And he's about 500. Hasn't got Everton need either a master tactician or someone who's dead enthusiastic and dead animated. Our fans hated Silva for Bournemouth. Hated it. Yeah. Pellegrini, does he even stand up? Isn't he? He's got that other fella who looks like he's been electrocuted before they drag him out to sit next to him. No, mate. Owen, honestly, no.
Nigel Andrews said, Sheedy, Speed and the Yak for me. Decent.
Three crackers.
And Derek Houlton says, liking the top bars, is that a Florida special?
You know what? It is, mate. Boss.
It's Under Armour or Nike.
That's nice.
I know. It's one or the other.
People who say Silver out are completely deluded. That's from
Why are they deluded? Why are they deluded? We've started the season. But if we get beat on Saturday, honestly, you can't sit there and be. That's not being deluded. That's being.
Tom, that would be. And listen, if you watch this, you know that I mean, that's probably right.
Yeah. Well, I think we're back.
Cormac Burke says Schneiderlin's improved for me this season and stood out against an off game at Goodison, maybe. Keith Powell Iwobi to play number 10. Yes, I agree. Jamie B says with Marino, at least he'd show emotion on the touchline. That is true. Real Tour says, which of our players, managers, past or present, would you most like to read their autobiography? He'd love a Moyes book.
I don't read books.
Okay. P. Merv says, no point screaming and shouting about Silva. He'll work himself out. He will work or he won't work and whatever, and we'll still all be blues tomorrow. I mean, that's right, isn't it? You know, no.
That's right. No,
but what he's saying is, don't go too far one way or too far.
I'm not.